Ladies and gentlemen, you learn nothing from life if you think you are right all the time. You learn nothing from life if you think you are right all the time. Learning is a process, learning is a journey. So let's learn something as I'm going to call a person working as an assistant professor in School of Management Studies, University of Hyderabad since 2018. He got his PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, India, and from HA from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. Before joining University of Hyderabad, he worked as a faculty member of Goa Institute of Management, Panaji, in the area of healthcare management. He has rich work experience as a manager and consultant in hospital and healthcare industry, both in government and private sectors like National Health Mission, Government of Odisha, Dr. L.H. Hiramandani Hospital, Mumbai, Apollo Hospitals, Hyderabad, and Ma Gruha, Navi Mumbai. He worked as a trainer in hospital operations, municipal solid waste and biomedical waste management, and public health program management. He has demonstrated keen interest in research and act as resource person in healthcare management research in various institutes. His papers are published in reputed journals having indexed in Web of Sciences, Scopus and PubMed. He also has presented papers at many international and national conferences. He taught courses on research methods for healthcare, public health, strategic management, human resources management, patient care services, medical humanities, medical ethics, business environment in educational programs like PGDM, MBA, diploma, and certificate programs. He has a wide range of research interests like health system studies, public health, TQM in hospital, strategic management in healthcare, health manpower planning, marketing management of healthcare, global health diplomacy, and healthcare data analytics. That are his achievements, that are his characters. But regarding his personal appearance, owner of a effective smile always keeps a smiling on his face. That is our guest speaker, Mr. Ranjit Kumar, Dr. Ranjit Kumar.
So, good afternoon to all, and our all esteemed guests, all the learners and researchers, some of you, and industry professionals, even clinician, consultants. So many people are here having from different walk of life. So again, welcome. And before going to my topic, this Indian pharmaceutical sector in a developing intellectual property era, and how the public health challenges are really posing a serious concern for us, we have to see. Before that, let me talk you, give you a small story about public health, because public health we talk a lot, but so far our system is concerned, it's not geared to that much. That means we really are not doing that much on public health front. No doubt we have best of the hospitals available in India, as well as even in rural area nowadays, government is providing services, but still then almost 50% access we do not have. And the challenges raised from transition of a disease that our Dr. Modi sir already told, the next generation of people will be suffering from not just diabetes, hypertension, cancer. These are the diseases where the names of the disease maybe 50 years before our forefathers have not heard much. So our diseases, those rule last, before 30, 40 years are no more there, or disappearing, except in very few pockets or in some states. but the new emerging diseases are really posing a huge challenge for us. So in this context, let me give you a small story from Sweden, where you know that Karolinska Institute is situated, and it provides the Nobel Prize for medicine and physiology. So what happened? Usually Sweden and Norway fight against each other, and every time Swedish army was defeated. They fought the wars not for 1 year, 2 year, or 10 year, maybe for hundreds of years. They keep fighting. So in certain era, the fighting in Europe was also quite large. But they defeated every time, despite investing so much in defense sector. But all of a sudden, they think and go for root cause analysis, and they found that our people are not really fit. So what they do, they instead of putting money in defense, they put money in social development like health, education, and other things. They established this Karolinska Institute, maybe some of the good institute for child care, maternal health, and other things. So then they found that their people are becoming smarter, and they can add a lot of value in the system. Their people are capable of even not just fighting in a war, but in mind game also they are superior. Usually in this way they strengthen their health system, and finally get a good name and fame for them in the society. Finally they become a civilized society. Now you whatever good rates and ratios so far the diseases are concerned, we found the Europeans and this Scandinavian model is talked everywhere. Because of this, they have put enough resources, enough thought, not just resources, enough thought also, enough discussion on this health system and other things. Finally, the public health system was geared up to be a model not only for the third world countries but also for first world country also. So this is one, and another small example let me give from Japan. Japan was a colonizer. British was a colonizer also. We are colony of British India also once upon a time. But when Japanese public health professionals visit Germany and some European countries, they found that the public health plays a very great role, and everywhere sanitation is the word talked widely. Even those who we may be coming from various cities of India and the world, the cities which are beautiful, well sanitation is maintained, those are performing quite good in public health things also as well. So the Japanese public health professional, when they visit Europe, they bring that concept from there, that sanitation, drainage, small concept in those days might be microscope was not was in primitive stage. Your disease discovery was not that great. Even your all pharma molecules were not there, but still they managed to produce well in Manchuria, especially the Japanese colonized the Manchurian region of China. So all of a sudden they replicate those model of sanitation and hygiene and other thing there. So overall, I like to convey you that the message that the message of public health, along with its maybe you can say access to medicine and pharmaceutical science, play a very big role in the entire gamut of matters. So in this context, the country, those who work, even though you are a ruler somewhere, you have to also invest in sort of public health or sort of medicines, sanitation and other things. Because for you, people have to work. Now corporates in Hyderabad are depending heavily on the workforce. The diseases that Care Hospital, Apollo Hospital, maybe Continental, Citizen Hospital, they are treating almost the corporate brigade, the health package, the health checkup and other things. They are taking the entire healthcare sector. That's why they are able to produce well, because mental health and other things are also growing a lot. So in this context also, pharmaceutical science play a very big role. And in the morning session also, we listen that our pharma professor also tell the same thing. The type of research that India is having is not just for India, it's for Europe, it's for African countries, and entire third world countries is just looking forward to us. Because any sort of patent regulation and other things problem happen in India, the access to medicine not just in India will be hampered, it will be there in Africa also, it will be there in Southeast Asia also. That's why the Indian government and its standpoint should be pretty clear. It should not buckle to the pressure of World Trade Organization or say it big capitalist power, so that our people will be losing their access to medicine. As already Dr. Modi told that access to medicine is important, and that to essential medicine is very, very important. Whereas to add to Char's point, in fact we found that almost WHO in its report, maybe in 2015, said that 50% of global population is out of the access to essential medicine. Forget about your high value or novel molecules. Simple, what are mentioned, the basic medicines people don't have 50% of the world. And do you think in India also, in India the things are little improved? No, it's not. It's also the same thing. In fact, it may be 30%, 40% of people in India do not have access to essential medicines. So all these things really is a concern for the civil society to take the point forward. So in my presentation, I will give some idea about Indian pharmaceutical market. As you know that medicines procured for domestic consumption in 50 years have increased. That means our patent rule was favorable, quite favorable for our companies. They have done a good work. Now India is exporting a lot of medicines. In fact, whatever in 1969 we have 5%, it has gone to sort of 20%. Then if you see how we fare in the export of Indian medicines, according to some report, almost we export in our export bucket, we are giving 30%, and providing medicines to US is not a joke. You have to maintain the US FDA standards. Everywhere you will find that. I have visited almost 30-40 pharmaceutical companies, how they struggle to maintain this standard. This is all our scientists and the entire management team and entire working professionals actually work very hard to make our products very good enough to export. Then COVID-19 have put a lot of pressure on us. All of you know that in sort of we are also struggling for PP kit and different other things, but those will not come under medication, but in other sort of thing. But we finally overcome some of the problem by our health minister, especially Mr. Mandviya, has helped a lot in providing, not before Mandviya sir, there was another health minister, actually he worked, but this pharma ministry comes under him also. He was Minister of Chemical and Fertilizer. So he also rationalized things a lot and make things possible. But in COVID time, the struggle that we are having is really very worrisome. One report yesterday I was reading, almost 39% of Indians bribe for basic health care, which include also for medicines. You know that I was thinking it would be much more higher. All those essential medicines that our hospitals produce was not available. Even in the best hospitals, things were, medications were not available or charged maybe 2 times, 3 times. They will say somebody will bring it from somewhere, from some quota. So special quota they use. These problems does happen because of one thing is that the surge of cases that we cannot deny, but there are some inherent cases also which can be reduced a lot. So then R&D, all of you know that research and development is the key factor for us to bring changes in the entire system, and our system have to gear up for it. In fact, Indians are doing very good while making proposals. All those companies you find in a high-tech city, maybe little in industrial estate, they are really doing a good job by investing in sort of R&D and getting more and that approvals they got very clearly. Okay, so there is a need to strategic approach to move from innovation infancy to become a global player in innovative drugs. As the diseases, in fact, are growing and is a matter of concern, the transition of disease is happening. We have to focus not just on generic but novel drugs also, new molecules also. We can't depend on Western research and other things. This thing we have to do. Other things, whatever small things is there, we are doing, no doubt, and we are achieving now. But time will come, there will be high degree of microbial resistances. Antimicrobial drugs will be will not sort of available plentifully. So we have to focus on research so that we can bring more such drugs into our bucket. Or the Indians should be known for their research prowess in novel drugs also. So this is a thing you can just see life cycle of new medicine in IPR regime. IPR I am not talking much, but intellectual property right is a certain thing which has been granted to professional to particular person or organization or group of body to provide different sort of direct benefits to them. So it's an exceptional thing. It's not that something is given out of privilege or something. It's an exceptional thing given because somebody or the innovator is disclosing everything to the market. But it should not be, the things should not be in such a way that the medicine itself become inaccessible due to very high cost, or a lot of loopholes in the system would be there so that people cannot access it. The intellectual property right or your copyright or your patent, so many things are given to a body or professional or organization to encourage them for further work, further discovery, further everything. But it should not act as a hurdle to access to medicine. That's why in many countries now, the public health rules are overseen or have a precedence over these IPR laws also. In many countries this happened. In fact, 7 years before also some big multinational company lost its case in India. In Australia, the thing you see in sort of cigarette packets like the cancer symbol. In the morning we have a presentation on cancer. The cigarette company refused to put that symbol, but Australian government forced it in a different way. So we have to be very careful. When our public health is concerned, the IPR and other things, India should, negotiate properly. Even for vaccine, already one presentation happened in vaccine. In that also, there are 4 countries come together and say that there should not be vaccine apartheid. Now what happened, you see, just Google New York Times website and see in Africa, we are thumping our chest that we have 80%, 90% coverage or 100% coverage. But the countries like, the African countries, they are still struggling at 18 to 20% at max. 5% in some countries to 1 month before I have seen. So this happened due to, our unequal thought. We think that we produce something means we will keep ourselves safe and others will not be there. One health concept that is very important for us. Even animals are important for us, not just human beings across the world. So we have to take care of the entire environment. You go to any sort of shop, you will find that there is no planet B. So recycle your stuff. You will find a carry bag written in that. So why this is written? Because we have to keep our population, our planet very healthy and safe. That's how IPR is there, no doubt. There was a, I can comment that IPR should be removed. It should be there, but it should not act as a hurdle for public health progress or access to medicine across the world. So this is how challenges are in achieving research and innovation potential. One is lack of resources in India, but of late things have been changing a lot and resources are keep coming, but still then many people also argue that let profit fund the research, not the public fund. That means if government is not providing fund for research, it can't claim that it's for the welfare of people. It's for a greater good. That means everybody should be benefited from it. It cannot claim. That's why besides private fund, public fund should be there to increase the research potential of any country. And in India, we don't have, days has gone that our research potential is not there. I'm not just saying it, you simply see the global research databases. Indians are making a good footprint on it. It's a verifiable thing. So here also lack of motivation is another thing. Once in another conference, I asked a pharma giant, why you are not making sort of active pharmaceutical ingredient. They simply say that the Indian government do not provide sort of ingredients or sort of environment ecosystem where we are, whatever we produce. If we borrow it from, if we purchase it from China, the cost would be 15% less. So in this context also, the Indian government have to give through different ministerial arms, it have to support our system, our product should be competitive. Without that also, we should not expect that corporate sector will do enough for us. Because what happened, as you know, that many of the drugs may go out of counter someday if we do not have sufficient active ingredients or say intermediaries which are very, very essential for us. So in essential medicine and other things, this IPR law, government support, other things need to be strengthened. Need for innovation mindset and relaxed skill argument, this one, then the complex regulatory approval process and intellectual property regime, in fact, is a big challenge. Things cannot be expedited at the rate it should be. So I'm not explaining these things much, but drug regulation system in India is also laughable. People forget about us. Even many people, many Americans say that FDA is not doing its job. When this vaccine, Bharat Biotech or our SSI or other Sputnik, when they are in the process of getting clearance, many people say that we do not have faith on our drug regulator. But now now at least the vaccine case is strong case that our drug regulator have done good work. So let them do better work in the future as well. So that the trust of people should be there. Actually, this project we are doing in Mr. Imtiaz is there. Imtiaz Ahmed, he has inquired a lot also. We both inquired a lot and found that our regulatory system have a lot of problem. Financial constraints and limited infrastructure, we are improving. In fact, it in India, but still then it needs to be strengthened. Emerging public health challenges, health of poor developing countries at stake. Already I mentioned that we are not just for us, we are for the world. We are for the world. Our 62% of the vaccines in the world, whoever is taking is gone from India only. Your Serum Institute is really giving the doses to entire Africa and Europe also. Those countries have no vaccine hesitancy, they are also giving to them. So these are some of the challenges. In fact, the last point I like to mention and conclude is that the way forward is strengthening a higher education system and exploring talent base and other things, but the final conclusion let me give you. Overall, the patent regime in India initially have helped a lot, no doubt about it, but we have to be firmly argue with international bodies like WTO, whatever rounds of talk happen, WIPO, intellectual property institutions and other thing, and our own intellectual property organization that is looking at, its headquarters in Chennai, they have to be also proactive to think about our public health a lot. Our public health should not be, put on toss. our curative health and preventive health and primordial health, whatever health concept, health system strengthening, so much things are there. We have to align those things and make sure that nobody there will not be any shortage of medications. So thank you all. Thank you again, the organizers, Mr. Nageshwar Rao, Madam, Meena Madam, and Professor Imam Madam. All of them are really in the entire day. I am kind of speakers of morning and afternoon hour also. I found it quite energetic discussion, and so thank you again, the organizers.